Welcome back to America's Voice Live. This is the second hour today, this Friday, July 2nd, 2021. I'm Tudor Dixon here with Steve Gruber. Steve, let's take a look at those top stories.
Well, the search and rescue effort at the Florida condo collapse has been stopped at this hour. We'll explain what's happening now in Surfside.
And former President Trump will hold a rally over the weekend, the holiday weekend. We'll share the details and how to watch it right here on Real America's Voice Network.
Plus, the Boy Scouts of America have reached an historic settlement agreement in the sexual abuse lawsuit. We'll explain the details and the money involved.
Our top story today, search and rescue crews have halted their recovery efforts at that Florida condo collapse. This comes as new challenges emerge for the crews, as well as growing concerns about the standing building's integrity and approaching the tropical storm Elsa. On Thursday, President Biden spoke about the cost of search and rescue efforts.
That's why we decided to cover, for example, 100% of the search and rescue cost for the first 30 days. Not done often, but necessary here, in my view. And FEMA is going to provide temporary housing and other urgent needs for the survivors. State Department is expediting visas for family members from other countries, and there are from Latin America, South America, Europe, Israel. And I want to give a special shout out to the first responders.
So far, 18 people have been confirmed dead. 145 people are still missing.
Well, the June jobs report has been released. It came out just a short time ago today, showing that employers did add 850,000 jobs to the American job force. More jobs than was expected, but apparently more people are back in the job pool as well because the unemployment rate ticked up anyway to 5.9%. Analysts were only expecting to see about 700,000 jobs and for the unemployment rate to come down to 5.7%. Neither happened. President Biden spoke about the June jobs numbers this morning, and here's what he had to say.
Again, it's a direct result of the American Rescue Plan. And at the time, people questioned whether or not we should do that even though we didn't have bipartisan support. Well, it worked. In February, the Congressional Budget Office projected 2021 economic growth would be 3.7%. Yesterday, they doubled that number to 7.4%, in large part thanks to the American Rescue Plan and our work to defeat the virus.
And Tudor, the jobs report did have some good news for those who are back on the job. The average hourly wages across this country up by 3.6%.
Well, with more information on this jobs report, I wanted to bring in senior economic contributor for FreedomWorks, Stephen Moore. Stephen, what does this mean for the economy? The president is saying this is a good thing. Is that how you're seeing this?
Yeah, this is a blockbuster report. I mean, the American economy is now really booming. And, there's a report by Bloomberg this week that, and I tend to agree with it, I don't always agree with Bloomberg, that found that America has come out of this terrible pandemic better than any other country in the world. So it's great. We've got a booming stock market. We've got record job creation now. We still have a lot of work to do, but this is a great start. Now, I do not agree with President Biden that this has anything to do with the American Jobs Recovery Act. This was because of the vaccine, which has allowed our millions of businesses, millions of Americans to get back on the job and get people back into movie theaters and on cruises and in malls and back in their jobs. So it's a very positive situation right now in the United States, and it's a good timing right before 4th of July. But we don't need trillions of dollars more spending. We don't need, the biggest problem with the economy right now is inflation. And if we continue to spend and borrow, the price of things are going to continue to go up, and people's paychecks are going to shrink.
$6 trillion he wants to put into the budget, Stephen. As you know, $6 trillion the president wants, plus spending on infrastructure and probably a whole host of other things they don't even talk about. But he does want to give all the credit to the American Rescue Plan, when honestly, we really should take a look at Operation Warp Speed that began in January the 13th, 2020, when the president says, we need to figure this out. That was before we had one fatality in America. I know they don't ever want to give any credit to President Donald Trump, but if not for Operation Warp Speed, would we be here today?
course not. In fact, Biden was talking about some of these revisions in the economic numbers. I mean, you go back to this time last year, two things happened. First of all, most economists didn't think we would recover until 2022 or 23 from this terrible catastrophe of this pandemic. And the other thing is, almost all of the experts, I mean, the New York Times wrote a piece on the front page probably a little over 14 months ago that said Donald Trump is lying to the American people. We'll never have a vaccine in 9 months. It can't happen. It's going to take at least 2 years to get a vaccine. And in fact, now, we have a vaccine. We have well over half of Americans vaccinated. We have more than 80% of seniors vaccinated, which was what really matters, because seniors are the ones who are really in jeopardy from COVID. And you've got to give a lot of credit to Trump. I mean, look, I think the guy deserves a Nobel Peace Prize for saving millions of lives throughout the world with this operation. Now, I think I would give Biden high marks for his vaccination distribution program, which started under Trump but ran very smoothly under Biden. But the massive government spending actually on balance has been negative. Don't forget, the biggest problem right now with the economy is getting people back into jobs. And one of the dumbest features of this the Biden plan was to pay people not to work. And everywhere you go, you see help wanted signs. You see, we have 1 million open jobs in trucking, manufacturing, and construction today. And those are pretty high paying jobs. And people are not going back to work because they're getting paid these high unemployment benefits.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that's what it is? Because I'm going to say here in the heartland, we have a bunch of companies coming to me on a daily basis saying we cannot get people back to work. We're paying $20 an hour. We have 20 open positions. No one will come back to work. We have this federal unemployment, but even some of the states that have gotten rid of that are having trouble getting people back. Did we create a culture of people who think they should stay at home, and how do we combat that?
Yeah, that's a very good question. And one of the things that worries me is you've got people now who've been unemployed for 14 or 15 months. That's a long time to be without a job. And, the studies show very clearly the longer you stay unemployed, the worse it is for you and your family. Very negative effects from long-term unemployment. So we're not doing anybody a favor by keeping them at home and keeping them on the couch. We need to get people back in the workforce and back on the job and earning a paycheck, not a welfare check, as quickly as possible. Now, I heard Biden saying, I don't see any evidence that the unemployment insurance is keeping people out of work. I mean, come on. Really? I mean, get out there. Talk to small business owners. You're there in Michigan, by the way, both of you. And you've got a governor in Whitmer who has not suspended those benefits. A lot of the job creation that's happening in America are happening in the red states that did kill the unemployment expansions.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Stephen Moore. Thank you for being on today.
Okay. Have a great 4th of July, guys. See you soon.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You too. All right, let's look now to House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's new committee to investigate the January 6th attack on the Capitol. On Thursday, Pelosi announced her picks for the committee, which includes Congresswoman Liz Cheney as one of the 8 members. The panel will start the investigation with testimony hearings from Capitol police officers about what they experienced. Pelosi herself spoke about this new committee on Thursday.
Decisions are liberating. They enable you to go to the next step. And the next step for us has always been to seek and to find the truth. We want to do so in the most patriotic and nonpartisan way so the American people have confidence in the results.
On Wednesday, only 2 Republicans voted in favor of establishing the committee.
Well, California may be getting a new governor sometime soon. You see, Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounalakis has officially called the gubernatorial recall election for September the 14th after more than 1.7 million voters signed petitions calling for a recall. Elections Chief Shirley Weber certified the election. Candidates have until July 16th to officially declare if they're going to be in the race, creating a time crunch for Governor Gavin Newsom as well to correct a mistake, a legal error that he needs to change to make sure he is listed as a Democrat on the ballot, because he could get reelected through all of this. September 14th is the earliest the contest can be held. It is one of the only dates that is within the 60 to 80-day time frame that falls on a Tuesday.
And former President Donald Trump is heading to Florida this weekend, this holiday weekend, for a rally in Sarasota, which we will be covering right here on the RAV network. Our coverage starts at 7 o'clock Eastern, and Trump is expected to be speaking around 8 p.m. There's also a fireworks show planned. I'm sure it's going to be quite a show. Steve, are you excited for 4th of July?
You know, I am. I have like a stash of fireworks personally. It's about as big as my house. Ivy looked at me and kind of said, "What in the world?" I said, "It's fine, honey. It's fine. I got this." She says, "Never mind. I'm excited. I'm fired up. Lots of fireworks. It's going to be great. It's Independence Day weekend. What can be better than that?" Now, you don't go anywhere because there's a new social media platform out there. We're going to tell you all about it when we come back. This is America's Voice Live.